What I'm going to talk about now is version control on IntelliJ. So, very basic version control. In the previous video, I created this little program and we debugged it and it was fine. Let's say this is doing what I wanted to do. So, what I'm going to do now is I want to preserve this code. This code is saved on my hard drive, but I want to save it in version control so that other people can collaborate with me. So, if this is the first time for you saving it in version control, you're going to go to this VCS menu. Okay? And you can enable version control integration. So you can do that. And you can enable version control, and then you select a version control system to associate with the project root. And that's going to be Git for me. You can select Mercurial Subversion. Or, and then click OK. Now, if you do not have Git installed, okay, the next window, it's going to ask you to install, if you want to install Git. Here, what this says is that it created a Git repository in users my project. So now I have a Git repository, right? I have my Git repository here. Now my menu, my VCS changed to Git, okay? And I can commit changes, I can push stuff, and the color of my class is going to change, okay? So, for example, I want to commit this, right? So I want this file is automatically added, which is red, and then I want to commit. Click on commit, and here you scroll down to the file that you want to commit, my first class. Do I want to commit the class file? No, just the code. So just my first class.java, that's all I want to commit. Okay, it's going to be my first version. I type this message if it's not there for me. And then I click on this button that actually says commit, but you can't see it because the window is a little bigger than my screen. So I'm going to commit. And this file is committed. And then any other changes that I do are going to be, Git committed. And then it says one file committed, final version, and here's the Git output. This is not a Git or GitHub course, so just suffice to know that that's how you go to Git. Now, if you want a repository on GitHub, online, what you do is the following. So we go now to File, and we're going to go to the Preferences. If you're in a Mac, this thing is Edit Preferences, or in the Preferences, little Apple Preferences. Here it's File Settings. And we're going to look for the version control. So here's version control, right? I can click on that. I can go to the Git part. I can go to GitHub and add login via GitHub. So if I click in there, log into GitHub, it's going to send me to GitHub. And if I am logged in, I just need to authorize JetBrains to access GitHub for me. Okay, so this is an important step. I have to authorize IntelliJ to be able to use my GitHub account. So I have been successfully authorizing GitHub. I can now close the page. So this is my GitHub account, and I can see it here. So from now on, right, I can apply and okay this guy. And now in my program, I can go to Git. Remember, this is on my hard drive, and I can say share project on GitHub. And as you can see, this is going to be called my first project. Remote is origin, and the description is, this is a test, whatever. And then I'll say share. And if it's a private repository, I'll say private, share. So this creates the GitHub repository, and it's going to put all the files that are needed in there from my own Git over there. And you can see now it's done. It says done. You can see that if I go to the web and if I go to my repositories, I should be able to see my first project. And if I go in there, here's my source and there's my class. Okay, and that's how you would maintain projects in GitHub. All right, and then whenever you say get commit or whatever, and push, you will push to GitHub. So this is a very short how to use version control. Now, let's say if you wanted to bring a project from version control. So this is a project that you had from version control, or you have to download for some reason. I'm going to close the current project. And when you open projects, you can say get from VCS. And here, let's say version control is Git, and then the URL, what you do is you put the URL of the project that you want to work on from GitHub. So for example, here I have a Java project called, I don't know, let me look at my repositories. I have one that's called OOP, I believe. Yeah, so OOP. This is the URL of the project, right? I can also click in here to see what the URL will be, right? But this works, either one of these works. So if I click on this URL and then I go to IntelliJ, I put that URL here, right? It creates a little folder for me, and then I say clone. And what happens, oops, destination is not directory. Let's look for it. OP test, all right. I'm gonna clone this, and then what happens is bringing everything from GitHub, and it's creating, it's initializing my OOP folder and components, and it'll display for me to start developing on it. So here I am. If I click on project, I have everything that I want to work in. In this case, it's a different kind of project, and that's why you see it different. But that's how you would bring a project from your repository, and how you create your own project and you put it in your repository for the first time.